bring in Tim MacMahon, ESPN NBA staff writer who joins us on the program. Do you think that the Utah Jazz were singled out here by LeBron and company, that they were the last two picks, Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if LeBron and KD intentionally did this. I don't know if they, got together and plotted this, but is it disrespect to the Jazz, to the team that has the best record in the NBA? Will it be perceived as disrespect in Utah? Yeah, absolutely. There's no question about it. And I really, for Rudy Gobert especially, he's obviously the guy who went dead last. He's the guy who felt like he had to wait an extra couple of years just to get invited to the All-Star game. And really, the video game stuff. Come on, you think, was LeBron playing with the New Orleans Pelicans growing up? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know that he had too much experience playing with the Pelicans growing up. But it kind of felt like LeBron and KD, again, whether it was intentionally or not, were basically saying, you might have the best record in the league, but you really don't belong at the top level of the NBA.
Yeah, so using LeBron's logic, if Luka Doncic played in Utah, then he wouldn't take him because Karl Malone and John Stockton play there, right? That's what he's telling me.
Yeah, blame it on Stockton and Malone for sure.
Yeah. I like this. I'm not big on the All-Star weekend, but if it's here and they're willing to have some fun with this, with the slam dunk. So they're cramming the slam dunk contest in at halftime, right?
Yeah, and not the most thrilling dunk contest field that I think we've ever seen, but such is life.
And Alex Caruso of the Lakers turned down the invitation?
Yeah, when a 6'3" white dude who's balding is turning down dunk contest invitations, we've got some issues.
And you have the 3-point contest where you do have some, you got great shooters in there, so that and I like watching it, but
yeah, the 3-point contest has significantly more sizzle than the dunk contest. Let's be honest. We all wish Zion would have accepted a dunk contest invitation. That's what we want to see. And then, Toppin might throw down some nice stuff. We wanted to see Zion on that stage. And so that's a bummer that he didn't take the invitation. Caruso, we can live without.
Although I might have been interested in seeing Alex Caruso in the dunk contest.
Listen, the man can fly, and especially since he just kind of acknowledged that he's got a little endorsement deal, and he's acknowledged like going full buzz. He's all aerodynamic now. He can really get up.
I had a couple of things here. I don't know who's going to be traded here. It feels like Kyle Lowry's available or sort of available. How available is Lowry, and where do you see him landing?
Well, and that's the big question, because at this point it does not look like Bradley Beal will be available. So Kyle Lowry would then become the most impactful player potentially on the trade market. And, when you look at fits for him, the one that really stands out is Philly, and not just because he's from there, not because he's a Nova guy, although that's a nice little storyline, but simply because of how he would fit with the 76ers, how he would fit giving a third star to a team that obviously has Joel Embiid playing at an MVP level, Ben Simmons. And also, Daryl Morey is as aggressive as any, personnel executive in the league in terms of in-season trades. He tried to make the Harden trade happen. That didn't. Lowry would not require giving up Ben Simmons, but I fully expect that Daryl Morey will make an aggressive pitch because, the 76ers are one of these handful of teams that obviously have a legitimate shot at winning a championship this season.
NBA analyst Greg Anthony was on the show on Wednesday. He disagreed with me, saying that this was a two-way street with the Rockets. They also quit on James Harden and vice versa. I know you did a deep dive on this, but separate fact from fiction here with what went on. I said I couldn't vote for Harden if I had to vote for MVP because he quit on the Rockets. He showed up out of shape. He did not want to be there. And this is a team that he helped build and deconstruct. And now I'm going to have him as MVP in the same season. I can't see it happening. So what did you find out with your deep dive?
I mean, look, I understand what you're saying. And obviously it was a bad look the way that he gave up on the Rockets. But I also think if you have an MVP vote, you have to just evaluate based on pure value. And his value to the Brooklyn Nets, I think you have to include James Harden in that conversation. Yep. I wouldn't say that the Rockets quit on Harden. I think you can definitely take a look at some of the moves they made, some of the moves they didn't make. Not going into the luxury tax his last few years, and you can nitpick it, but they were trying, like, this summer they were aggressive, trying to kind of remodel the roster, getting Christian Wood, hoping they could convince him to stay. But obviously there was just no hope. But again, if you talk about what really went wrong with the Rockets, what was kind of the move that had this whole thing tumbling down, it was giving up Chris Paul and a whole bunch of picks for Russell Westbrook. And James Harden not only was on board with that, but he was pounding the table, wanting it to happen.
Yeah, that's where I don't have any sympathy. Not that Harden's looking for it, but you wanted these players. You wanted to get rid of these players. And so is he playing at an all-star MVP? Absolutely. Yeah. But that doesn't mean he should be the MVP. It feels like, earlier and earlier in the season, we're looking at MVP candidates, Tim, and maybe this is just sports talk radio. We need content. With the NFL, we start talking about the MVP usually after, the first month of the season. Trying to handicap this, Jokic has been wonderful in Denver. Embiid has been great. Harden, you can throw him in there. LeBron, I know it's really important to him, but when it comes down to the MVP, what is this guy has to have this to get my MVP vote?
Yeah, Damian Lillard's the guy you didn't mention, who I think has to be in that discussion. And look, this is all ridiculously premature, but it's not media driven. It's player driven as well. I mean, hell, LeBron started lobbying for this MVP when he was still in the bubble, complaining about last year's MVP vote. So don't blame the media on this one.
Oh, no. We get blamed for this, Tim, because just because LeBron said it doesn't mean we have to pick up the baton and keep running with it.
Look, we will give them the assist, all right, at the minimum. But, these guys are lobbying themselves. So, right, a couple weeks ago, I would have said LeBron. Anthony Davis went out. Obviously, the Lakers have taken a dip here. My first half MVP would be Joel Embiid. He's averaging 30 and 10. He's a major impact player on the defensive end. The Sixers have the best record in the league. And his last statement going to the All-Star break was 40 and 19 against, Rudy Gobert and the team with the best record in the league, hitting a clutch three to send that thing into overtime. And then not only has he been the best center in the NBA, but he's one of the best referees. He got Donovan Mitchell teed up in that game. So, how do you not go with that?
Why is it that I look at Embiid the way I do James Harden, and he'll never be in as good enough shape as I think he should be, but he is still incredible. He might be in great shape, Tim. I just don't know if he's ever going to look like he's in great shape.
Yeah, and it's funny, if you look at him early in his career, he was definitely leaner. And look, the thing with Embiid is, can he play the vast majority of the games? And, can he finish games strong? And so far this season, that's happened. But, Embiid's a guy, a lot of these guys, they like to complain about the voting of, for him in particular, it's all NBA last year. How did Gobert get over? Dude, you missed 20-something games and your team finished sixth in the conference. The 76ers were disappointing last season. So if Embiid continues producing like he is, if the Sixers can fight off the Nets, stay atop the Eastern Conference, and he, to do that, he's going to have to play the vast majority of the games. I think right now, he would be number one on my ballot.
What's the update on Anthony Davis?
We will see. Obviously that's a situation where, for the Lakers, the seeding isn't really important. If they're a 3, 4, 5 seed even going in the Western Conference playoffs, if they have LeBron James and Anthony Davis healthy, they're going to feel like they're the team to beat. And you know what? I would agree with them. So, I don't know what the exact timetable for AD is coming back after the All-Star break, but I do know that the Lakers aren't going to rush him. They're thinking long-term, as they should.
Yeah, I know this is headline worthy, but if they don't have Anthony Davis, they're not winning the championship this year. And, whatever it is, like this is true load management for somebody who needs load management with Anthony Davis. Has the supporting cast for the Lakers lived up to its billing?
No, I mean, look, they've been a disappointment since AD went down. There's no question about that. There's too much on LeBron's plate. He hasn't been able to, this was a chance for LeBron to kind of, really enhance his MVP case. That hasn't happened as well. But just the piece of Marc Gasol's been a disappointment there. Marc Gasol looks like a guy who has had a great career, but is out of gas at this point. We'll see if that changes in the second half of the season. Montrezl Harrell is a guy with warts. There's a reason that after he got Sixth Man of the Year, the Clippers were just fine letting him walk across the hallway. The fact that he's playing 19 minutes in a game where Anthony Davis, is wearing sweats on the bench, I think that tells you a lot. And so, they're not invincible. But again, if AD and LeBron are healthy, they can have some warts for that supporting cast, and that's still the team that I would put my money on.
If they're completely healthy and the Nets are completely healthy, you like the Lakers over the Nets?
I would, just because my general philosophy on the NBA is if LeBron has a legitimate All NBA co-star, I don't bet against him. If he's healthy and has a legitimate All NBA co-star, I'm not betting against him. And the Nets, offensively they are unbelievable. But we'll see about their health as well. KD obviously has been banged up. Kyrie is not exactly the most durable star in the league. We'll see how they're looking going to playoffs. But no, the Nets obviously are a force to be reckoned with. And I think statistically and just by the eye test, the best offensive team that we've seen.
Tim, good to talk to you. Have fun at the All-Star Weekend. We appreciate your time as always.
All right, appreciate you having me.
That's Tim MacMahon, ESPN NBA staff writer, and did a deep dive on the Rockets' divorce from James Harden.